Never before seen greatest knockouts you wouldn't believe if not filmed. Part 3. Hello everyone, we're back with another video, part 3 of the knockout series. Well, you know that fighting techniques are always evolving, and quite often what works at one point probably won't be quite as successful down the line. On the other side, techniques that would have been frowned upon a few years back are now commonplace. Just a handful of years ago, nobody would have believed that whirling kicks, angled punches would work perfectly in the matches, but nowadays such skills and techniques produce some of the flashiest and most impressive knockouts of all. And with that said, we've compiled a list of some great knockouts that you wouldn't have seen before. Well then, let's begin. Vicious versus poor. So, you see the fighters ready to attack each other. Both of them are in the form of doing great because the number of punches that they smash is admirable. Well, the next thing you see is the vicious fighter crashing a punch on the shoulder of the opponent, which leaves the fighter weak and unconscious. The fighter just got hit so bad that he's probably nerveless. This is the moment when you know that the match just got finished and the opponent just got destroyed. Though one thing you need to notice in this great knockout is the sportsmanship. Just after the opponent got unconscious, the other fighter showed his concern and checked if he was okay. Such moments are rare, but actually fulfilling to watch in such matches, right? Two young stunners. Well, this one is a super fast knockout that you've ever seen. Both the young fighters are enthusiastic to cast their spells, and as soon as the fighter gets a chance, he punches in full power toward the shoulder of his competitor. This is what a precise, rightly angled punch looks like. A perfectly aimed action towards the opponent to knock out in just a few seconds. Well, obviously after this, the opponent collapsed flat on his back in an unconscious state. Young fighters like these are full of energy, and they don't want to miss any chance of showcasing their skills and defeating the opponent as soon as they can. This was evidence of perfect technical learning of the game. What do you think about this quick yet efficient knockout? Green shorts versus Bigfoot. So this knockout's going to leave you in surprise and laughter at the same time. Well, just have a look at how the master of the green shorts takes a step forward towards the opponent for an attack. The first hit is not so successful, but boom! The next thing you see is a smacking kick on the head of the fighter. This must have hurt a lot. The opponent falls within a second after being hit so hard. He lays unconscious on the canvas while the green shorts fighter celebrates his successful knockout with some twerking dances. Yeah, this is the moment when you'll probably laugh after seeing him celebrate. And it's a much-deserved celebration after all. Funny? No? Though the kick was super efficient. Champ versus young boxer. Well, this one's just a blast from the past. Just like you see some amazing knockouts from the present time, there were also some great knockouts from the past. And here we have one, a historical knockout. The fighters were landing punches towards each other when one of the fighters was almost approaching the end of round one. One of the boxers landed a powerful and aimed punch toward the shoulder of the opponent, which left the young boxer unconscious. It was surely a bummer for him. That punch must have been pretty strong, or else the fighter wouldn't have collapsed in such a position, that too so unconscious. With fights like such, fighters have to be ready for certain circumstances and injuries. Well, let's appreciate how the champ ended the match with an amazing knockout. Violent fighter versus reckless defender. This one actually shows two vicious fighters trying to attack each other in round 3. You'd be shocked to see how the violent fighter was initially defending until he smacked the opponent with a powerful punch right on the chin. I wonder how bad his teeth might have hurt. Eventually, the fighter fell a little unconscious on the canvas. The violent fighter didn't just stop there. He tried launching some more punches on the chest of the opponent fighter until he was sure enough that the fighter wouldn't try to get up and fight back. Well, it's a good strategy, though, making the opponent weak enough so that he gives up. Undoubtedly, the punch was power-packed, and it requires a lot of learning to do this and be aware of when to punch and where to punch to make the opponent lose. What do you think about this reckless knockout? Beast versus vicious fighter. At the beginning of this knockout, you'll see both the fighters struggling to attack each other. However, the beast among the fighters moves forward and crashes a punch right on the face of the opponent. The smacking punch was so extraordinary that it destroyed and defeated the opponent badly. Eventually, he fell lifeless on the ground. Such strokes full of force are really hard to defend. You can clearly see it in this knockout. As brutal as these knockouts can be, they're also a lesson for the one who loses. They learn from it and apply the skills for their next matches. That's why it's important to be aware of the facts and the opposite fighter. Nasty fighter versus big head. From the start of the video, you see two violent fighters aiming to defeat each other. Both the fighters look strong and energetic. The fighters are attacking and defending each other with full force until one of them misses the chance to defend from the punch. The nasty fighter crashes some powerful punches on the head of the opponent, full of force and power pack. Well, you can clearly see it's not easy to defend such continuous and hard punches on the head. So eventually the fighter gets unconscious. Well then, and there you see a perfect knockout. The force, strength, and energy used by the fighters are always surprising. Either they beat someone or get beaten by someone. It's a game of technicalities and efficiency that a fighter should learn. Strong versus geek. Who said punches are not strong enough? Well, mostly in knockouts, all you see is some crazy punches or flipping kicks. In this too, you'll see a knockout with several crashing punches. Initially, one of the fighters continuously launches some great punches towards the opponent, and it feels like the match is already leading towards the end. But wait, you'll be surprised to see that the one who's getting brutally beaten up stands firm and crashes the opponent with a punch which suddenly makes the fighter unconscious. This is one of those game-changing moments that turn the tables and you see a champion winning. It was probably one of the most efficient knockouts ever. So that's the end of some crazy knockouts for this episode. What are your views about these crazy knockouts? Did they scare or surprise you? Share your comments with us. We'll get back with another exciting video. Till then, keep watching and exploring our thrilling videos.